Chapter 4. If only I were a cockroach. Abula ruined my life immediately. Since she'd taken over my room, I was now sleeping in our living room, sofa bed, under a thin sheet. The morning after Abuela came, I woke up hot and sweaty. I kicked the sheet off just as Pops, who had forgotten I was sleeping in the living room, stepped out of the other bedroom. When he saw my naked leg up in the air, he turned to go back into his room so fast that he banged his face on the door. Caramba, he yelled. I hid under the sheets. When it was safe to come out, I wrapped the sheet around me and ran to the bathrobe to get my bathrobe and do my business. But the bathroom door was locked. I need to go, I shrieked. Abuela was already in there. Pops came up behind me. He had hanky pressed to his nose, which was bleeding. Abuela, we have to get in there. She flung open the door. The sight of her made us suck in our breath with horror. Abuela had green goop all over her face. Without her eyebrows drawn on, she looked like an escape from a monster movie. Sorry, Porofino. I was giving myself a facial. Pops was hot mad. You got a bloody nose? Abuela asked. They brought my mother running in from the kitchen. Bloody nose? ¿Qué pasó? Ay, Dios mío. We all started talking at once. I had to pee, badly. I was hopping on one foot to the other. If it hadn't been so early and so hot, this all would have been funny. Ven porifino, said my mother, coaxing Pops into the kitchen. I scooted into the bathroom past Abuela, shut the door behind me, and quickly used the toilet. Abuela had left stuff all over the sink. Lotion bottles, shavers, tweezers, nose hair scissors, hairbrushes, combs, and 3 half-used tubes of Alberto VO5. Even the drain had evidence of Abuela. It was clogged with wads of her bozo orange hair. When I came out, Abuela had disappeared, probably into my bedroom. Mammy was trying to stop Pops from fleeing as he pressed the hanky to his nose. Wait, Porfino, eat something. I'll eat at the store, he answered gruffly, slamming the door behind him. I tiptoed into the kitchen. Ivana, Mama offered. She dumped some oatmeal into a bowl. Abuela came to the kitchen, green face and all. My mother put some oatmeal in a bowl for her. She made a face as soon as she tasted it. Ew, you put a lot of sugar. See? See, Mommy answered, dragging out the word to sound like see. If you put a lot of sugar in, you get fatter than you already are. Abuela shot Mommy a harsh look. Mommy pressed her lips together, grabbed her purse, and flew out the door. The green gunk on Abuela's face had begun to harden. She turned and went into the bathroom, where she started to run water. Soon she was back in the kitchen. I wish your mother didn't get so mad at me, Abuela said. She had replaced the green gunk with a layer of Pond's cold cream. My grandmother with no eyebrows now looked like a space alien. She threw out her sweetened oatmeal and made a fresh bowl for herself with no sugar. The only thing I have sugar is in cafe, she explained, trying to make conversation. Rummaging through the cabinets, she found some raisins. Perfect, she said. I'll put these in my oatmeal. Those raisins are for the bread pudding Mommy makes to sell at the store, I said. Besides, oatmeal tastes better with sugar. Abuela changed the subject. I will go shopping today. You come with me? I'm working. I have to go to my room to get dressed. Abuela's shoes, scarves, long line bras were all over the place. I tried to ignore the mess. I started to take the rubber band out of my hair, but it got stuck. Evelyn, Abuela had followed me. Let me help you with that. No, I can do it, but I was struggling. Abuela got manicure scissors from her makeup kit. I can just cut that rubber band. She had already started cutting and was very determined. All I could say was, fine, go ahead. You should never use rubber bands. They break your hair. It's best to use one of these. She showed me a fabric-covered elastic hairband. I nodded. Where do you work? Abuela asked. The Five and Dime. I'm sure they sell all kinds of nice bands that won't break your hair. I can go shopping there later. My gray hairs are coming in. I have to get hair dye to come cover up my canas, as I can use some new makeup. I'll just come to the Five and Dime to get everything I need. I know exactly where the store is. I used to live on 116th Street years ago. Abuela's had set my hair free. Before I knew what was happening, she was brushing it and gently putting my hair into a ponytail. It didn't hurt at all, and my hair looked good. Gracias, I said softly, and then turned to go. I see you later? I sure hope not. I didn't want my grandmother with no eyebrows and orange hair coming to my job. I shrugged, not answering yes or no. The whole day at work, I watched for Abuela. I knew she'd come, but was still shocked when I saw her. She was wearing a striped halter top and flowered pants. At least they were long pants, and this time only half of her hair was piled up. The other part was flowing down her back. She looked around expectantly, all open-faced. I tried to make believe I didn't know her. Dolores spotted her right away and approached Abuela. I wanted to die. They talked, then Dolores pointed to me. Abuela came over smiling. Lydia was taking care of a customer. I tried to hide behind the hairbrushes. There you are, Abuela squealed. Hi. I introduced Abuela to Lydia. Lydia, this is my grandmother. Your grandmother? Sí, señor que sí. Look exactly alike. Lydia couldn't stop staring at my grandmother's drawn-on eyebrows. Then, to make this moment even more terrible, Awildia came in with Dora and Migdalia. I wanted to slip through a hole like the roaches or mice from Perez y Martina, my favorite childhood tale, a love story between a mouse that dressed like the king of Spain and a cockroach that wore a mantilla and a skirt. If only I were that cockroach, I could escape what had to be the most humiliating moment of my life. But I wasn't a roach or a mouse that could disappear quickly. The next best thing was to try to get Mr. Simpson's office. Lydia, there's not too many people in the store now, I said. Mr. Simpson told me to check back in with him, but it was too late to make a getaway. Hey, Rosa, Awilda called. Abuela said she doesn't like to be called Rosa anymore. She likes Evelyn. Vivian? Excuse me, lady? Awilda, this is my grandmother. This is your grandmother? Dora and Migdalia came up and I figured I'd get it over with. Migdalia, Dora, this is my grandmother. Migdalia was working hard not to laugh. Hola! Now she was the one who couldn't stop looking at Abuela's eyebrow lines. Abuela didn't seem to notice. Hola, she said, and who is this one? I'm Dora. She was checking out my grandmother's hair and halter top. Evelyn, where is the hair color section? I have to dye my canas. I pointed. I'll get some nice hair bands for you, too. I'll show you where those are, said Lydia, and they went off. They left me with Awilda, Dora, and Migdalia. Awilda spoke first. She spelled out my name. So what's happening? Evelyn. You could just say Evelyn without spelling it, Migdalia said. That's okay, I said. I know Awilda has to show off that she can spell. I don't need to show off anything. Everybody knows I can spell. Ha, 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 said Dora, laughing as if Awilda was so funny. Let's go to the pool at Jefferson Park, Awilda said. Then maybe my apartment. There's nothing happening around here, except maybe a grandmother clown show. Thank God they left right after that. Abuela had purchased her hair dye and wasn't far behind them on her way up the street. I went into Mr. Simpson's office. Yes, Evelyn? Mr. Simpson, can I please try working at the hardware counter? The hardware counter? Yeah, I think I'd like to learn how to make keys and cut window shades. Mr. Simpson looked as though he was thinking about it. I didn't tell him that the real reason I wanted to work behind the hardware counter was that then I wouldn't have to talk to anybody. Not too many people came in to the hardware store, and when they did, they didn't talk much. All they cared about was getting a key made or a shade cup. The hardware counter was a good place if you didn't want to interact with people. After 2 days with Abuela, a crazy morning with my parents, and an afternoon with Awilda, Dora, and Migdalia, I was ready for keys and shades that didn't talk back.